Hey everyone, today's tutorial is a Khloe Kardashian inspired makeup look. I saw this picture of her on Instagram and I wanted to recreate it for you guys. So I've cleansed my face. I'm now going to use MAC Studio Fix foundation and I'm mixing together a couple of shades to get the tone that I want to go for. Khloe Kardashian does have nice naturally olive skin. My skin's quite olivey in the summer, but at the minute I've got my pale winter skin. So I am going to go a little bit darker than my natural skin tone. Now I'm going to have to take this all the way down my neck so that my face and neck match my body, which is normally quite tanned naturally. So make sure you do the same, and if you're wearing your hair up, make sure you cover your ears as well. So as usual, I'm using my dampened beauty blender to put this all over my skin. I find this method gives this foundation the most natural finish. It doesn't look cakey and it doesn't drag up any dry skin. The fact that the beauty blender is dampened shears down the foundation ever so slightly. To help give us that nice sun-kissed appearance that Khloe's got, I'm using the Chanel Bronze Universelle and I'm applying that with this synthetic angle cheek brush by OPV brushes. If you've got fair skin, you might find that this is a little bit orangey for you, so you just want to find yourself a nice bronzer that's got a matte finish to it. If you're in the UK, there is a brand called Boutique that is sold in Sainsbury's and they do a really great bronzer for fairer skin tones. So I'm just swirling that around my hairline, around my temple area and onto my cheekbones. I'm just following the same shape that Khloe Kardashian's got. She's got warmth all around the circumference of her face and also down the sides of her nose. And for the size of the nose, I'm taking my Sigma, I think it's the E35 brush. It's just a small fluffy blending brush. So I'm just taking that on the top of the bridge of the nose where it meets the eyebrows and down the sides of my nose, and this is just going to make the bridge at the top look a little bit smaller, and it will make the sides of my nose look a little bit more narrow but also straighter, and it will also add some more warmth to the face. Going back to my angled cheek brush, I'm adding a small amount around the chin and then also a little bit on the sides of the jaw. To add a little bit more definition to the cheekbone, I'm going to take Sculpt and Shadowy by MAC, and I'm taking that on my Sigma highlighter brush and I'm running that just along the cheekbone itself just to create a little bit more depth and shadow to that area. Now I'm not going to be very true to the Kardashian style and go mad on the highlighter. Instead I'm going to take this Soap and Glory Kick-Ass Concealer and add a small amount of that underneath my eyes just to add some brightness. This is quite a thick consistency and it's a very creamy concealer, so I find using your fingers is the best way to apply it, as the warmth from your hand just melts it into your skin. Now the reason I've chosen not to go crazy with a highlighter is because the powder that comes in this concealer pot is very pale and it's quite dense, so when you apply it, not only does it really set your concealer, it also extremely lightens your skin with just the use of the powder. So this is a great product if you're not a fan of applying lighter foundations or lighter concealers to your face and you just want to add a bit of highlight. This powder is perfect for it, and it also gives you a really nice mattifying finish. Once you've allowed that to sit on your skin for a few minutes, just use a brush just to knock off the excess powder and you'll find it's just left you with a nice brightened, slightly highlighted appearance to your skin. I'm taking the MAC Pro Shaping Powder in Accentuate just to sweep that underneath the eyes, and this is just going to add a little bit of light reflecting pigment, which is just going to help again just to brighten underneath the eyes, also down the nose and a little bit on the forehead and chin. Now it's time for brows. I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in medium brown. You'll probably be able to see from the thumbnail image of Khloe's makeup and mine when it's finished that our eyebrows aren't too dissimilar, and the colour using this pencil is really great as it looks almost identical to Khloe's eyebrows. I'm not a fan of shaping my eyebrows particularly different to look like other people's. I like to fill them in how they naturally are, as that suits my face, so I'm just going to do that and you can do the same. I do have a close-up tutorial on how I fill in my brows and I will link you to that in the description bar of this video. For the eyes, I'm going to start with NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk and apply a small amount of that to my mobile eyelid, and then I'm just going to use my finger to blend that in. As we are using blues, we're going to make sure that the colour is going to be as true to form as possible, so by adding a light base we're going to have the best chance of the blue showing as true blue as possible. We're also going to be applying that blue colour underneath our eyes, so we also want to apply a small amount of that NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk under the eyelashes as well. Using this pencil is also going to help our eyeshadow to stick to our eyes and prevent it from shifting. The two eyeshadows I'm going to be mixing together are Blue Hawaiian and Capri Blue, and these are both from Coastal Scents. And I'm using a flat shader brush just to apply that on the outer corner and the inner corner of the eye, leaving the centre of the mobile eyelid with no colour on it. The exact colours that were used on Khloe were Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadows in Teal Shimmer and Mermaid. So I've pulled that colour out at the outer corners in a small V shape, and then I'm using a fluffy blending brush just to work the outer corner through the socket, and then we're meeting up with the front eyeshadow, but we're making sure that we don't take any colour onto that mobile eyelid in the centre. I'm just feathering the very seams of the eyeshadow just so we got no harsh lines, making sure that everything's nice and blended but leaving the very centre of the eyelid with no colour on. Take your time when doing this, and you want to make sure both eyes are symmetrical and blended equally. Next I'm taking Nylon Eyeshadow by MAC, which is super shimmery, and I'm applying that just to the centre of the eyelid. In the photo of Khloe you can see she's got a really nice shimmer just on the centre of the eyelid, which makes the eyelid look bigger. And use a light hand just to feather that colour over the seams of the blue. The next eyeshadow I'm using is another Coastal Scents one, and this one is called Steel Blue. I'm applying this just to the outer third of the mobile eyelid, and then using a fluffy blending brush just to pull the colour out ever so slightly and again softly blend through the socket. We've already got a lighter transition shade through that area from the two previous colours that we've applied, so this is going to make blending darker shades out a lot easier. Going back to the first two blue shades that we mixed together, I'm applying that underneath the lower lash line right to the inner corner. And then I'm using a fluffy blending brush just to soften that and make sure there's no harsh lines. On a pencil brush I'm taking that Nylon eyeshadow and I'm applying that on the centre of the lower lash line, and that's just going to mimic the top eyelid. I'm also taking a little bit of that on the inner corner of the eyes to add that nice highlight that Khloe Kardashian has got. Next I'm taking this matte black from my Louise Young palette and I'm mixing it with the Steel Blue eyeshadow from Coastal Scents. And this is going to give me a very intense dark blue eyeshadow. And I'm applying that on the outer corner over the Steel Blue that we blended out previously, but this time with our fluffy blending brush we're just going to do circular motions over the top of it. We're not going to be pulling the colour out or blending it through the socket. We want to keep it in its place but just diffuse the seams so it blends in nicely. Across the waterline I'm going to be applying this cream eyeliner by Kryolan, and I believe this is called Lapis Lazuli. Probably not pronounced that way, but that's how I'm going to say it. It's kind of like a midnight blue colour, and I'm applying that with a paintbrush. Khloe Kardashian definitely has something darker along her waterline, but it doesn't quite look like black. I'm then curling my eyelashes using my Showme eyelash curlers, and then I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury full fat lashes. I'm using the end of the mascara wand to manipulate my lashes to form small spiky looking lashes, very much like Khloe Kardashian's in the photos. We are going to be applying a set of falsies to the top, so you want to concentrate more on your bottom lashes and make sure you apply tons and tons of mascara to get them nice and long and spidery. The false eyelashes I'm going to use are this pair called Miss Dolly by Esqido. I do have a tutorial which I will link in the description bar on how I apply my eyelashes nice and close up for you to see. Ordinarily, I would never put mascara on top of false eyelashes, it's not a look that I like, but because we are going for this Khloe Kardashian style and we want them to be nice and pointy and spiky looking, the Dolly eyelashes are perfect, but again they need a little bit of mascara on them to mimic Khloe Kardashian's look. And I'm applying a little bit more mascara to my bottom lashes. I'm using MAC's cream blusher in Something Special. I'm applying a small amount of that to my face using my finger, and then I'm going to use my OPV brush that I used with my Chanel just to blend that in. I like to go a little bit more subtle with the blush, especially when we're playing up the eyes so much. You can always look a little bit too Dolly-like if you apply too much blush with heavy eyes. No Kardashian look would be complete without a little or a lot of highlighter. I'm using my Zoeva 129 fan brush just to apply some soft and gentle highlighter by MAC to the tops of the cheekbones, the nose, a little bit on the cupid's bow, and if it's your thing you could also apply a small amount to your brow bone. I'm going to line my lips and colour them in using MAC's Subculture Lip Pencil, and then over that I'm going to apply MAC's Shy Girl lipstick. This is a neutral coral beige colour. And then over that I'm using Kryolan's High Gloss in the colour Toffee. I'm not 100% sure what Khloe had on her lips, but this is a very close match. If you don't have the same products, just try to opt for something that's peachy or nude. So that is my Khloe Kardashian inspired look. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up if you have. If you've got any questions, put them in the comment section below and I will get back to you. If you've missed either of my previous tutorials, you can click on these now. Don't forget you can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and the links to those will be in the description bar below. Thanks for watching!